Hello and welcome to ZSR2. We are bringing you a Majora's Mask MoonCrash ADR All Dungeons Restricted Tournament match here between ChimeraSR and popesquidward. This is winners back in round 2. Commentators today will be Gerg and Kuroshi, and we'll have KM Keaton joining later. So you two take it from here.
Oh, thanks so much. Right. And this is going to be a really good race. I hope you all buckle in.
It's an exciting one.
Yeah, we got world record holder, popesquidward, and looks like Chimera has a 147, but the great thing about races, anything could happen.
Yes, this run does have a couple pretty crazy heavy tricks in it that can definitely lose lots and lots of time, so really anything can happen in this race. I've seen crazy things from these Majora's Mask tournaments because these glitch categories are always insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially like, you know, there are some tricks. You don't have a Swamp Gossips, but there are definitely some explosive, intensive ones, and we'll see what happens if something kind of goes wrong. They have to adapt on the fly. Like you said, anything could happen. It looks like we're starting. Awesome. The time is progressing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So I believe this is Pope's first race of the tournament. It'll be interesting to see whether he opts for some safer strats, maybe some pause buffering that he wouldn't go for in PB attempts, or if he's just going to go all out. I have a feeling that we might see him just go all out and say, you know what, let's just treat this as a PB attempt and have some fun. That would increase, the risk of him, falling behind, but it would also be very hype.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the perfect balance of, hype and still, I don't want to say safety, but, we'll see when he decides to go a little bit extra.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I'm wondering is, like you're saying, too, I'm thinking about in Snowhead, for the lullaby skip, I'm just thinking off the top of my head if Pope's going to do the hover or not.
Yeah, that was one of the main things I was thinking about too, because that's one of the biggest strat differences, and it's something that he hasn't done a lot in runs. I feel like his PB and maybe the PB before that are the only runs that he really did it in before he switched categories. So it'll be really interesting to see. Chimera is also a runner I haven't really watched much. I don't really know what kind of struts they go for, how safe they like to play in PB attempts or in races, but yeah,
I'm not really sure. That's why it's gonna be I haven't seen Chimera myself, and like you just said, Pope kind of just hit that he kind of hit the ceiling. He got that little bit of an extra better time, give it a little bit more of a lasting value to it, and then moved on to some All Dungeon standards and the English. So I'm also wondering, what are some JP tricks that maybe might do. I mean, one thing I guess immediately is I know Happy Mask Salesman cutscene skip on Japanese doesn't have it's a much slower between pauses is what Pope was saying. That is
correct. That could definitely throw Pope off. So yeah, because he's been running. So he stopped running. He actually stopped running this category consistently probably 2 weeks ago, and he's been running the English, right? ADS. So he's a decent bit out of practice for this. So, and like Greg said, the HMS is probably the first trick that's not only is it one of the ones that can sway the race the most, it's also one of the first things that's actually going to be different for him. It's a lot different from JP to English, but yeah. So we'll see how that fares.
Yeah,
if he'll play a bit safe and get a bunch of extra pauses, but make it in, or be able to just outright fail it. Who knows?
Yeah, so that's the first thing to look out for as far as the stakes go. Well, Link is finally actionable. Just one more pan around for some ambiance. And then we'll actually be moving. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
First cycle, we know it. We deal with it.
I don't know. We just you gotta do what you gotta do. It will be interesting though to see, there have been quite a few, over the years, there have been quite a few optimizations in the first cycle that people have been just slowly adding in to save, half a second here and half a second there. And I know popesquidward is somebody who has actually adopted a lot of those into his runs. I don't know where Chimera's at. I don't know how long they've been playing or if they're if they like to go for those in first cycle, but it'll be interesting to maybe get some variation in the movement, just with a notoriously not so action packed section of the run.
For sure, and there's really not that much that carries over. Like, it's all Deku movement. You really don't see a lot of Deku for the rest of the run, so we can definitely find some things about who these guys are as runners, but as for how much that actually carries over, that's to be seen.
True.
But you're right, it could definitely show them, like, or it could show how proactive they are for actually, continuing to shave down time, and what some people might just, not really think about.
And it's so, just like throughout the route in this category, there's actually like so many small differences that people like to do for strats and things, and I'm really curious to see if we're going to see that, because the last race I commentated, honestly, like, I feel like every difference, every like decision they could have made to choose a different strat or whatever, they did in terms of routing and things. So we got to see like the whole spectrum in the last race, and I'm really curious to see that with this. Like, I know there are different like Pirates Fortress routes you can do based on like how you want to do the dupes, and there's like stuff like that.
Yeah. For which race were you talking about? Were you talking about Chimera's last one, or the last one?
It was the last one that I commentated, which was I think that was GC1 versus Turkenheimer.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's always nice to literally, you have two game screens right in front of you. It's always nice to compare and contrast and see where this. It's like, again, there's only one route for all dungeons restricted. That's what kind of makes it a very cool category, especially when learning. There are strats, and there are some kind of like, you could refine it a little bit, but for the most part, there's nothing really different. It's, you do the same things. Maybe you go a little bit out of your way when you're starting out to get 10 more bomb chews, but I don't expect we'll see that here.
Yeah, I remember one of the biggest differences that I saw was that one of them actually went for, in the last race I commentated, one of them actually went for the new milk jump strat, which is new to this category, kind of recent. And one of them just flat out bought chews and hovered all the way up. And it was crazy to see that difference.
Huh. Yes, that's actually pretty neat. Because basically the way it works, if people don't know, there's a bit of a newer technique that allows us to skip the laggy hover in Stone Tower. And I won't give too much away, but towards the end of the run, you're going to see some crazy things involving a hookshot and a bottle of milk.
Right off the bat, we saw a little bit of a movement difference there. Squidward opted for the backwalk, and Chimera went with the spinning. Backwalk does save like a really small amount of time, so that's like another micro optimization.
They're both going for the lower flower. That's a more recent optimization added by the sausage a few years ago. That was definitely, though, that went from like being kind of just discovered to adopted pretty easily. It's a free half second.
And here's a text skip. Squidward misses it. Chimera misses it as well. You can actually skip that tattle text coming up if you actually side hop in the right position at the right time. But they both failed that.
Yeah, because you're just sucked into the flower, and the text box doesn't have a chance to come and make you lose that little bit of time.
So coming up here, we have HMS. I bet these two are going to do different movement even leading up to HMS. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll see. But, yeah, we're definitely... I know Squidward's going to go for the backwalk. I've been watching his stream.
Side hops into backwalks.
Yep, there we go. So this is... Alright, so they're both doing backwalk HMS. This is like... People used to actually spin up these stairs, and it was a lot less consistent.
Yes.
But now we have this backwalk, which is very consistent. It's like the fastest possible method for RTA, which is really nice. And
yeah, it's... Pope looks like... Oh, really, he got it.
Nice, clean.
Yeah, there was... Maybe like one or two at the very start. Maybe one.
Chimera's going a little safe, it looks like.
Yeah, but he got it as well.
Nice.
Get it all the way up there. It's almost like a... you don't want to then lose it. Like, you've already put in the time on the trick.
Exactly. So how that works with the setup we do it now. First off, let's explain pause buffering. If anyone's unfamiliar, the way that trick works is normally you just go there and there's a cutscene trigger right around the stairs, and a long cutscene will play with a happy mask salesman comes, he talks to you. But the cutscenes in this game take 2 frames to start. So what they're doing is they're pausing, and they can advance the game 1 frame at a time until they reach the loading zone, and just completely skip the cutscene.
Yeah.
which overall saves like 40, 50 seconds over just watching it. But with that backwalk setup, what we normally do is we'll actually just go for stand in a specific position, and then backwalk and pause buffer 10 frames, and then just let go, and the door kind of sucks you in on the last frame. I wasn't paying close attention to Pope, but I'm guessing he went for that, where you just kind of unpause. But
Yeah.
if your position wasn't good to begin with, at that frame the cutscene will start and you fail the trick. So what Chimera did was they didn't actually go for that, and they just buffered all the way into the door to be 100% certain that they made it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to have a thing called getting door trolled a little bit, where if you go in a little bad position, you'd hear the door sound creak open, but it didn't quite get you. So that's where some of the caution comes from. But
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
yeah, I started
troll.
back in the spin era,
Yeah,
and like
that's
early
cool.
when we were adding the backwalks. We used to also do the left side of the door, but it looks like the right side is more consistent, and you don't get door trolled ever. So that's awesome. And that pause buffering, to prevent like 2 consecutive frames, we're going to see that in a few different parts. There are some long cutscenes, like around 45 seconds to a minute, and we're just ideally going to skip over it with things like that.
Mm-hmm. And pause buffering is actually, and sometimes it's used. You have to use it to skip cutscenes and things like that. And sometimes it's just used like optionally to make tricks easier that are like frame tight, because it does allow you to just input things frame perfectly like a task would. But of course, it has the drawback of just being a lot slower. You know, you have it's like 1.3 seconds for a pause and an unpause. So we will see. That's kind of a safety strat that a lot of people like to do for tricks like mega flips and weird shots and things like that, especially in races, because failing those tricks can be very punishing.
Right, either in resources or a potential crash.
Exactly.
And pause buffering, I also just want to add, it's very consistent in this game. You kind of have the pauses will vary between like areas based on how much is around you loaded, but when you understand it, it's very nice. It's very consistent. So it's definitely been adapted throughout time. But for Pope and as runners, definitely increase their time. You find areas you could reduce the pause buffers from, ideally, or bring it down to maybe 1, like when we get there in Stone Tower to climb Stone Tower Temple, or to climb Stone Tower to get to the temple, that is like 3 frame perfect inputs. So, you could do it, but if you mess it up, then you're kind of at a loss.
Mm-hmm. And so we all know and love First Cycle, and we know that we're just trying to make it day 3, and we have to wait, and blah blah blah. But it does vary a little bit between categories. Some categories will get index warp map points, and some categories need different numbers of rupees. In this category, I believe you only need a minimum of 60 rupees, and that's for buying bombs and shoes in the next cycle. And it's just coming out here and using the in-game time to farm RNG rupees. Looks like popesquidward's got quite a few.
I think you're going more for 90.
Yeah, so past 60, any that you get are just going to save you cursor movements, I think, on the banker. So you do save a little bit of time from getting extra rupees.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you don't do a lot of bomb shop trips in this route. You do only just get 10 shoes right at the very beginning. So
right.
Well,
yeah, because there's no like normally for a lot of the standard glitch runs, you like start out, you burn 10 shoes on your index warp in order to get to the hidden owl and set yourself up. But obviously in All Dungeons Restricted, that's one of the 2 big restrictions. And let's just also say what those restrictions are. So between All Dungeons Standard and this, they both ban, debug menu, that's been out the window for a while. Let's not even talk about it ever again. With this one bans SRM as well. Same with Standard. And then restricted on top of that adds no index warp, so you can't use this hidden owl in order to warp to any owl statue across the world, regardless of where you've been or not. And then the other is equip swap, especially used for egg duping, for like getting the new wave bossa nova.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a throwback to the way the game any percent was actually in like 2013 before any of those 4 tricks were actually discovered. This route was almost the exact same, just with some new optimizations and things.
Yeah, Stone Tower is a big difference, but like if you guys ever saw, ZFG when he ran MM at, I think it was like AGDQ 2013 or something like that. Yeah, similar ideas of how to travel and manipulating the out of bounds in this game too. It's pretty cool. I like the category a lot. It's very good to learn. I think it's very straightforward. You get to have some like creativity and flow and backups in there too.
Yep.
Unless you get to, like Pope's level, then you start taking some risks.
Yeah, so it looks like they both got pretty good RNG. They both got 90. So that'll be the best RNG you can get, which is nice.
Yeah.
And now Pope, as you can see, he's finished depositing his rupees. He's got his magic and everything, and now he just has to wait for midnight to get in here and get the ocarina.
Yeah, and he has a best time you can. So you're already up on this platform. You have plenty of time to kill until clock turns midnight and the clock tower opens.
Looks like Chimera is actually going to be a little bit late, so
a little.
That's just something that you can kind of see the movement difference from the runners. Like,
yeah,
if the less experienced, you're not going to have super duper clean first cycle movement. It's a little bit harder to make it on time.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, really great.
Still in South Clock Down, but still has to get up there.
Yeah, these races are always, the beginning's always super close as long as people have, as long as people got HMS. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just have a 40-second gap right at the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. It's like RNG has some part, but, like you were saying, it's not that much, but HMS is quite significant of a chunk. Especially for how early we're on. Ooh, Chimera's struggling a little bit, but he gets the gainer on his maybe third try. Thing about gainers is it's basically you're doing a backflip while you untarget like before it even starts, and then you retarget as it's starting. It's basically a backflip facing forward so you could grab in front of you. And the way it works there is you're able to get like right in that little corner, and for some reason, I'm sure there's a very easy to describe reason, you get actually another frame of leniency on that. Yeah. So when you're trying to learn corners, gainers, that's a good one to kind of start learning on.
I remember when I first ran this game, I actually didn't do the gainer there. I think I struggled too much with gainers or something, and there's actually like so many methods of grabbing that ledge with that. Yeah. I don't know how they oversaw that, but I used to do like a twisted backflip thing. There's just so many different ways.
And like that's the whole purpose of, in first cycle, like you're supposed to go really far out of your way, get the moons tier, trade it for the land title deed so you can get that flower and go up to that ledge. So being able to go around it pretty easily is definitely a development oversight.
Yeah, the gainer's overall pretty useful for, in speedruns of this game, just for grabbing ledges that are high.
Yeah, we see it very often to get the silver rupee chest early in East Clocktown. So that's like 100 rupees right off the bat. All right, things are getting heated up. Got a few more conversations. Then we're leaving the city and never looking back.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of first cycle. And the beginning of this run is actually so different from what you see, because almost every other glitch category, you see them immediately, they get their explosives and then they go right to the hidden owl, because the hidden owl just unlocks the whole game, basically, right from the start.
Yeah, it all runs through that.
But because, of course, index warp is banned in this category, you see a start that you don't see anywhere else, and it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, definitely going to be a throwback. If you guys watched in like that 2013, 2014, 2012 era.
So what you'll see here, Pope's he's gonna play Song of Time, and then as soon as he presses yes on this text box, he's actually gonna reset his console. And that is because the first time you play Song of Time, there's this long cutscene that plays, like the flashback or whatever. But as soon as you press yes on the text box, your game is actually saved. So you can just reset the console here, and you're right where you would be after that cutscene plays. So you can just save all the time from not watching that cutscene.
Yeah, and that kind of idea is going to be used quite a bit, especially later on in the run. The idea that everything gets saved, all you need to do is press yes, so all of the cutscenes, all the stuff afterwards, really, if you don't need it, it doesn't matter. If you find a way to go around that, that is.
There's actually a lot of abuse of like the game giving you something or like a flag triggering like the frame that something happens rather than having to wait for it in this game. It's used in a lot of cutscene skips and things, and there will be a couple later.
For sure. All right, and now Pope's getting Song of Healing, finally able to get out of Deku form, get into human form. If one day we ever find a first cycle skip, it would basically be getting to this point, or the effect of this, which is taking off Deku Mask early. Haven't found anything.
There have been theories. We've gotten close, but no cigar. We're still doing for all of first cycle, however many years later. 20 years after the game came
Yeah,
out.
a game gets shorter, first cycle stays the same. I mean, technically it gets faster because we picked up those optimizations, but you know.
More or less. We're never gonna, or we have
a hard
found
limiter.
a way to not skip all the waiting and stuff. But yeah, at least we get to make use of some of the waiting in these categories with getting rupees.
Yeah, for sure. It saves us the time from going to East Clock Town, getting the silver rupee chest, things like that, and also winding down the in-game time. That's the one thing. Also, like you could just go to the East Clock Town and on the third day get a silver rupee chest and just wait around, but we needed to get to that midnight on the third day anyway. So yeah, we fill it in with things like that. Cutscenes go fast, and then just wait out the rest of time. Dude, I love the Pope's eyes, like cam.
Yeah, all of that.
I'd wear the
Like,
putty
no.
mask. I'll be honest, I'd wear the putty mask. I think I'd be able to talk to Putty.
So yeah, something we haven't talked about. It's kind of weird nowadays. We have like half the categories of this game are run on English and like half of them on JP. It used to be like way back in the day, it was like kind of everything was on JP except for like Hundo or whatever. But and then English started taking over with SRM, and now we have more JP again. This category is on Japanese for a couple reasons. One is because the text is just faster. That's what you'll hear from a lot of video games, especially Zelda. Another reason is because you get the hookshot in this category because you have to collect Zora eggs, and getting hookshot is actually a lot faster on Japanese because the pirate doesn't catch you immediately at nighttime when you go into the hookshot room, whereas on English it does.
Yeah, there's something to do with like the pirate's position is moved like 1 pixel back in Japanese, and that's just out of range to be caught when you walk through the door.
Yeah. So all that stuff together makes Japanese faster for this category.
English does have, even though there's like more text, it does have fast text, and sometimes you could like press B and skip through paragraphs or like chunks and chunks of things, but it does end up for the most part.
So one thing that is not different from this category is that the first thing you want to do is get rupees and get explosives, because explosives just open up the entire game, and they're used for like everything. You'll see immediately we're going to do super slides, we're going to do ISG, we're going to do all kinds of glitches.
Yeah, it's unironically the engine that drives the speedrun.
Yeah.
This game just runs on this stuff. It's flexible. You can get it at really anywhere. When you reset cycles, you're right here to get more bomb chews. They're really useful. And Pope's immediately using one to just skip a guard cutscene, talking to that guard that saves like a couple seconds or something.
Yep. So that was a recoil flip. He just shielded damage in the air, and it sent him back super fast. So there's ISG.
Hits the super slide.
Very
So
nice.
that's basically you're like grabbing a bomb while you're shielding and it's exploding, and you get this straight back shot of Speed. Hope going for a he gets it.
Oh wow, he got a damage boost.
Yeah, he tried to go for like a staircase hover. You see that a lot in Ocarina of Time. And this one, it's a little harder to set up bombs like that. We usually use a chew for like an immediate one, but you know, he took damage, but it worked.
Chimera's gonna probably. Oh, Chimera doesn't do the. Oh yeah, he does. Okay, so Chimera's gonna get the IG.
He's a little early, so he gets a ground jump instead of the super slide.
So here from Pope we have a Hess, which is literally a super slide, but you can change your angle and change your direction while you're moving.
Yeah, it's has to do with this ESS position, extended super slide position. It's like just outside of the dead zone. In Majora's Mask, it's much smaller compared to Ocarina of Time, and on the Wii Virtual Console, which we're both players should be playing on, it's also smaller than N64. So it's like pretty hard. It's pretty precise position, but we use it for a good number of tricks like Hessing. And
yeah, so
Chimera's going for it too.
Yeah, so like they're rolling into a bomb on a specific 2-frame window where Link is getting pushed back and he's invincible and he gets pushed back really, really fast. And then the ESS position is what actually lets you maintain that speed while targeting. And that exact like principle of rolling on those frames, having the bomb push you is actually used for several different tricks that you'll see throughout the run.
Yeah.
And right there, Pope Squidward did a cutscene skip using something called bomb time stop, which kind of put him in a cutscene-like state, so that when he pushed Mikau onto the shore, instead of the cutscene starting on Mikau walking onto the shore, he kind of just started walking while Pope was able to control Link, and then he just went into the loading zone, came back out, and Mikau was already up there.
It's cool. The way it kind of works is we have these, they're called like cutscene items. You have a mask and you have Ocarina are the two ones we primarily use. Where like if you play Ocarina, you stand in the middle of like a bunch of enemies and you pull out Ocarina, you'll notice that time around you totally stops. Your enemies aren't hitting you, the in-game time isn't going. So you're kind of pressing shield and like you have a bomb over your head that's exploding. And then like as it's just fading away, you shield and you press a cutscene item on the same frame. And like that's when even Pope, a world record holder, is still pause buffering to get that frame and know when it's actually going to work.
And we saw Chimera not opt for that one. So that's a good time save for Pope. Yeah, that was one of the things where that strat was in the route in 2013, I believe, but we actually didn't have a bomb there. Or we didn't know how to do. Yeah, we didn't know about bomb time stop but we did know time stop because you can time stop using a bottle as well.
Mm-hmm.
And older routes, or I don't know if this exact route used it in 2013, but older routes of any percent did the same as that cutscene skip there with the same movement, except you had to catch bugs in a bottle and use time stop that way. So that's just an instance of the route being the same, but like new optimizations just being used in the route, which is really cool.
Exactly. And bomb time stop was really an optimization we found through like SRM, actually, believe it or not, because when you're opening up that chest an infinite number of times, you're doing it under the influence of time stop, and you don't really have anything to capture with a bottle there. I'm not sure who exactly found it or figured it out more, but that was a very cool development that started in SRM and absolutely spread to all other categories.
Well, bomb time stop actually was found before SRM. I remember using
it.
Yeah, I remember using it around 2017, I think, at the earliest.
Okay. It was definitely popularized, I would say. Like everyone knew and used it after that. It might have been a bit more niche, it felt like.
Yeah, it was like only used in like AFR and then like for categories that did PCS. I think it was either. I feel like it was either Good Going Beard, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I feel like it was around 2017.
Both legends.
Yes. So a trend here, because there was no index warp, a lot of the beginning of this run is just going around hitting the L's. And you saw Pope right there. He just hit the Great Bay Owl to come back later. Now he's going to go hit the Zora Cape Owl.
Yeah, Pope tried to go.
I'll let you explain.
Yeah. I was just going to say, Pope almost hit Flying Zora glitch, it looked like, but he was trying to do kind of like a fancy movement on there where you're holding like forward ESS. But yeah, we're just getting our transportation set up basically. So that involves hitting Owl Statue in Great Bay, flying over, or going to Zora Cape here. And then we're going to do a thing called a Fairy Fountain alternate exit. Bunch of fancy words to go into the Great Bay Fairy Fountain, clip out of bounds, and use these explosives to hover to another Fairy Fountain. Because all of these Fairy Fountains basically exist on the same plane. Because it made it a lot easier when programming it, when it's all like the same themes, things like that.
Let's see if Zach gets... Oh, doesn't quite get the... There's a faster Zora high ledge grab you can do here, but here's the backup that Pope Squidward's doing. He's just... Once you put on Zora Mask while you're in the water, Link rises a bit, because Zora Link's a lot taller, and you can grab this high ledge when you normally wouldn't be able to.
Right. Also, Chimera did get the forward ESS off of the Zora swimming, which is cool.
Nice. And then there, Pope did a Mega Flip, which, again, uses those same roll frames as the Hess, but instead of holding ESS position, you just backflip, and you get a giant backflip.
And you want to backflip for 1 frame only. You technically can hold back for like 2 frames. It lowers your distance, but if you hold down more than that, you're actually going to like ruin it. The backward speed is almost going to cancel out by you holding back. It's a thing we see in recoil flips too. So when Pope does it unbuffered, that's like one of the risks that you have with that, either a bad one or a failed mega.
Yeah,
so you'll see
very precise, and they can, like, if he fails one right here, he's going to fall void out. It's going to be a huge disaster, but he's very consistent, anyway. And there we go.
Yeah, it's a fundamental thing in this game, especially when you get as fast as Pope is.
So really clean Fairy Fountain from Pope. Really good execution overall in terms of the hovers and the mega flips and the super slides and things from him. Which is like definitely a staple. Like Greg said, in this route, you're gonna want to hit those if you want to be going fast. And so here's the pause buffering that Chimera's doing.
Yes.
Just to hit the mega just a little bit safer.
Yeah, to overlap your rolling with the explosion frames. Gets a little caught between the 2 boulders, so he doesn't get the recoil back into the blast zone.
And Pope actually wanted to recoil as Zora there to super swim here, but he didn't get it, so we didn't get to show off the super swim. Maybe we'll see it from Chimera.
We'll have a few different opportunities for super swims. Alright, so now we're going to see Pope do Woods of Mystery Hess, while Chimera's trying and struggling a little bit to get this position to clip out of bounds.
Yeah, so once again we have a little Hess, and right there Pope actually paused, because when you're Hessing, you're doing either ESS right or you're doing ESS left, and if you're holding right, I think it's turning to the right as you untarget and retarget. But there he wanted to go left, so he actually had to pause his game to switch ESS to left, because you only have 1 frame to switch from right to left. Otherwise your Hess just drops, and
right, yeah. And as we mentioned, the ranges are really not that big on MM or Wii. We don't have, the use of a ESS adapter or anything like that too. So doing it unbuffered is humanly possible, but really not easy or gonna happen.
Yeah. So there we have Red Potion. Really just get that. Really just getting that because it's a bottle, and bottles are really important because you need them to catch Zora eggs in this route.
Chimera does make it through the Fairy Fountain after he kind of gets blown off of the pillar. He makes it back, takes a time loss, but the run's continuing.
And here's a Zora Hess, so Pope dropped that Llama's Human, then did this Hess as Zora, because Zora is actually tall enough to stand in this water. So this is a really nice optimization that's going to save a lot of time over just rolling.
Yeah, that's like one of the coolest and just fastest ways to get through that area. And Pope then does a jump/attack as the big Octo dies. And he gets that lily pad movement. I love that. The backflip into the diagonal roll.
Yep, super clean.
I think Chimera will go for the Hess here too. He has enough explosives. Though he did definitely have to go down a few explosives doing that second try.
And Pope did another one of those Zora extender things to get through those Deku guards.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
a really
talk to them as Deku, but there are a number of ways to, if you have a lot of speed, to just go right between them.
Yeah, you could go between them, you could go over them on the fence as well.
Yeah, they're not great guards.
Yeah, they're not great guards. No, they're pretty bad at guarding overall. We see that a lot, actually. It's a common theme.
And something I'm thinking about now, Chimera's health is a little bit low for going through that poison water that he's going to have to go through in a bit. And we might see him drink the potion here, actually. I think that might actually be something he has to do.
Because he has to go through the poison swamp water. It's a good point, actually. I'm not sure if he's thinking about that, but probably act like now.
Yeah, if not, he'll definitely be thinking when he sees his health go to a quarter. Let's see if we'll see the fast Hess. Oh, no. No Hess from Chimera.
No, he's not going for that.
MoonCrash isn't a category, MoonCrash is just the name of the tournament.
Oh, he is.
Okay, so we do have the sword Hess.
Or at least he attempted to go for it. I see that he was trying to do there, though. Basically skips the, like, the setup and takes it a little bit slower, but at least makes the angle easier. Probably wouldn't have to do a angle change.
Yeah. So there, Pope got Sonata. Overall, pretty great execution from Pope, I must say. A lot of that just overall practice paying off.
It's a good time to drink the potion.
Yep. The benefit of that, though, now Chimera's not going to have critical health in the Deku Palace, which can be really annoying because in this game, when your hearts are low and you get into beeping hearts, your camera's like completely weird, and Link doesn't actually walk completely straight if you're holding straight. So, like, that's what popesquidward's actually dealing with right now. You might not be able to tell because he's probably experienced having that at this part of the run quite a bit, but it does make it a lot harder to just do general movement. Chimera does not have to deal with that.
Yeah, no, Chimera doing the other way, get enough speed, just doing a super slide before then, but crit health cam sucks. You try to target a wall, and literally, instead of just targeting the wall, it goes, like, slightly to the left. Like here, what Chimera's trying to do, if you have crit health, you're actually, like, gonna have to see up the angle, because you're not gonna be able to target the wall and then do a diagonal shield turn. I've been in this position before, it is not fun. Okay,
And then you
and
saw Chimera. Yeah, he put on Zora mask before putting on Deku. He put on Zora mask before putting on Deku. That's because when you put on a mask, a transformation mask for the first time, you get that long cut scene of him putting it on that takes however many seconds. But if you put on another mask before that, it actually skips the cutscene. So since he had already put on Zora mask, he didn't have that, and then put on Zora, and then he put on Deku. So now when he puts on Deku again, it's actually just gonna act like he already put it on for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. There's like two basically cutscenes when you put on a mask, when you put it on, and when you take it off. And when you switch between masks, it basically plays the one where you're taking it off. And it just skips that really slow screaming one, which if you played it when you were a kid, probably is like still in there, etched in your brain.
Definitely a scream of pain.
Yeah, taking out a lot of burdens. Like a lot of them. Like, holy crap, so many burdens. You got 3 people? Oh, what?
Alright, so Pope's gonna collect a couple supplies here, and he's actually just gonna immediately destroy all of them. The reason he does this is because he's also gonna hit this owl, because that's what we do in this category. But so what he's doing is he's emptying his stick and his nuts so that he can do what's called a bottle dupe, because we do need plenty of bottles to catch those Zora eggs on our trips, the Pirate's Fortress and Pinnacle Rock. So what he's doing here is he's holding ESS position, and then when he presses bottle, the game wants to put an empty bottle over the slot that he last pressed. But with ESS position held, he actually has a frame to press a button other than the button that he pressed to empty the thing. So you can do that using anything that is like unusable. So an empty set of Deku nuts or an empty set of sticks, which is what he used. And now he has an empty bottle over his stick slot and his nut slot, which is really nice. So
yeah, it's a really huge like innovation for this, because you know we have to hunt eggs. We can't do egg duping that hasn't been invented yet. We're from the past, remember?
Exactly.
So we need a lot of bottles in order to hold it all.
And here he's going for a jump slash super swim. Let's see if we can start. So there he did a jump slash on a specific frame to recoil off that platform with a high speed, and then he's alternating sinking and swimming to maintain that speed in the water. And that's what we call a super swim, so that was really cool. It saves a little bit of time over just swimming normally.
Yeah. And just like different ways to set up that kind of like recoil effect. There's the recoil flips using, shielding a bomb into the water as a way. Jump slash recoil. That's what we just saw. It's really nice because like Sora can swim very fast, pretty fast, but super swimming is just that next level.
Mm-hmm. And something we might not have mentioned was that when you're Zora, when you're just regularly swimming, dolphin diving is actually the fastest way you can traverse through water. So right there, Pope was dolphin diving, but he was still following the path that you have to follow with, or else you void out in the casual game. So he was just dolphin diving on that path to do the fastest movement.
Like a dolphin dive is, where you're basically like just skimming the water, so you're tapping down basically as you're like kind of hopping, and then he's just getting his turns right, and it's like a skimming effect. It's pretty cool, especially just maximizing your turns.
Oh, Chimera gets a Deku stick. Okay, so I think that's a time save over just slashing the pot. So that's just a little bit of RNG there from the things that these Deku scrubs drop. And you kill them.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure like what was a detail of when that happened. So it looks like that one dropped a Deku nut, and you don't want to do that because you just emptied your nut slot.
Yeah, that'd be really annoying.
Yeah, I'd have to drop another one.
So here Pope's just collecting eggs. This is kind of the specialty of this category because you don't have a clip swap. Nowadays, in categories that don't ban that, you can just duplicate the egg over and over again. But
yeah,
in this category you can't, so you kind of have to just get all 7, and this is just a consequence of that. And there he did a glitch called Ocarina items using ESS again. Very similar to the bottle dupe. He pressed his bottle, but this time he pressed a B instead of pressing an empty set of items slot. And he just pulled out Ocarina, because normally you can't pull out Ocarina underwater. So that saves a lot of time over having to swim out.
Yeah, and that's how... That's just like, it saves you a lot of time from just having to like go all the way up and swimming out. But it's the same kind of inputs. Chimera there had to actually wait before doing his second dupe because there was the night transition coming.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there are some areas in this game you have night transitions and day transitions that actually give you a short cutscene when they happen. And then there are some areas where you actually don't get that, like in temples and stuff like that. So Chimera just was caught in a really bad spot there.
And there are a few different instances, and Pope's about to hit one, and Chimera just passed one, where when you play a song and there's this cutscene coming, you could just pause, like we were talking about, to prevent those 2 consecutive frames from happening, and then play your ocarina to like soar out, basically. So Pope got that there to avoid having to watch the Woodfall Rising cutscene. Chimera watched it, and we'll see later on kind of like different extensions of it.
Yeah, so when Pope comes back to Woodfall later, the temple's already going to be risen.
Yeah, because he hit the trigger event, which was playing the song as Deku.
And then here we have a much longer super swim from Pope. Really nice. I like that he's dropping some height there.
Yeah, because you need to go down here in order to enter this tunnel. That was really cool.
So I wasn't paying close attention, but I believe he did that one using a bomb recoil. And as you might have been able to notice, because he had so much more speed from the bomb recoil than he did from the jump slash one earlier, his super swim was a lot faster.
And he got pretty far with it too. Chimera's dives are looking pretty good. He has this last turn. He's going under for that. Yeah, to find the sign.
Playing it a little bit safe. And then here you can see Pope's doing the dives again just to move fast. Not really getting caught by these pirates because they're kind of have horrible vision.
Yeah. They could be really good in some ways, but where he was going, the angles were just not going to cover it.
Yep. And then this is just a simple hover over the gap. A little bit of precision in this one. If you don't get the right kinds of height and distance on your hovers, then you can just fail when this mega flip just like won't reach. But very nice from Pope.
Yeah, it won't reach. Then you'll get caught by the pirates and thrown outside. So it could be pretty annoying.
Yeah, overall, really disastrous to get caught in this area.
And yeah, you could see already like the egg counts separating the two. Chimera's on his second of 3 in that area, and Pope got a ground jump there.
Ooh, I think that was like one of his first. Bomb trick failures this round. Okay, so now he's just gonna. I'm gonna really be worth it to go for the super slide.
Yeah, not at that point.
Something I just realized, maybe a reason he actually didn't go for that super slide. He might be going for the pirate fight skip, where you can hover out of bounds and actually skip fighting one of the pirates before the eggs. That'd be really exciting to see.
I'm not sure if he was going to go for that. It'd be awesome to see, but I'm not entirely sure how many chews you need for that. Because you need to dump out all of your bombs at some point here. Because, so we've duped, bottle over your stick and your nuts, and then the third one that you're going to do it is over your bombs. So he's going to eventually, take those 5 down to 0. We'll see how he does it if he just decides to, drop it as he's moving, or if he's going to try something like Pirate Fight Skip.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
Yeah, it would.
So there, Pope actually just did a long jump off those barrels, where he just kind of had a bomb explode while he was on the edge, and he got a huge jump. And if you do that just right, that whole setup there with the side hop and everything, the pirates just don't catch you, and you can grab the tank and shoot the beehive.
Yeah, the hardest thing about that trick is probably the tap side hop, where you're just holding like left for 1 frame.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at it, but it is some precise movement that you can fail real easily.
Ooh, he doesn't get that. Oh, almost got the second.
All right, so there you can just kind of jump over this, around this wall to the next pirate, but
yeah, the slope pulls you down, but if you jump around it, then you're able to just get to the second tank where the egg is. So we're going to see a nice little optimization here that was added kind of like a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. Jumping on that barrel first by Pope before getting on into the tank, so you don't need to like have hookshot equipped. You could just do this because we're using all 3 of our slots here. We capture the fish and the egg and have Zora there. Going to use that fish for a bottle dupe in order to put it over bombs. And then that's all the bottles we're going to need to finish catching all the eggs. He has his bombs out. I don't know. We'll see after this.
Because I think he's gonna... Okay, yeah, so he's not going to go for the thing. Okay. So you can actually hover out of bounds into this next loading zone where Pope is heading towards, and just completely skip this whole movement in this pirate fight, which is really cool, but he didn't go for that. I don't know if he had enough sources for it, if he just kind of doesn't want to do that for the races, but that does save like 20 seconds, I believe, over doing all of this, so it is a pretty big one. It's kind of hard, and it's kind of precise, so.
Yeah, and I mean, Pope got world record without it, so I'm not sure how much he wants to implement it overall.
Yeah, he would basically just be practicing it just for the races. So. And there you actually saw Pope actually emptied the fish as he stepped into the cutscene, and so instead of watching him empty the fish as a cutscene, it just happened during the cutscene of the pirate spawning, so that saved time.
Yeah, small little things like you gotta do it, so here's a perfect time to do it without losing time.
Yeah, exactly, just by pressing fish at the right time. So Pope finishing up. Yeah. Or no, he has one more egg, right?
Yeah, he has one more because he does he has to do the other side now on that recoil. So let's see how Chimera handles the hook shot tank jump.
Chimera gets the super slide first try. That's gonna be nice.
Has some good time too.
So right here, if Chimera were on the English version right now, the pirate just catches you immediately as you enter that door, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you actually have to go up top.
Yeah, like literally around. You need bow in order to do that as well.
Ooh, didn't get the side hop as precise as you needed, so Chimera got caught and failed that long jump, which is going to be a huge time loss.
Definitely.
You get thrown out all the way out here.
The only thing technically limiting Chimera is, having to do this before 6 a.m., but it's still a race, wants to get this done.
And there's Pope with another Ocarina items to store back to Great Bay. So now Pope's just going to deposit his last 4 eggs and then head to Great Bay Temple.
And we're going to see a lot of cutscene skips from Pope happening right now, because there's some story elements happening, and typically the way games work is when story happens, they kind of want to give you a little bit of context surrounding it.
But we don't like story elements. We like speed.
Yeah, we like to be fast. We know this game.
All right, there, Chimera.
That's a good one.
Gets set up a little bit better, and then he nails it.
Alright, so Pope is gonna basically learn the song but you're not really going to see him learning the song if everything goes correctly.
Yeah, so the moment that Pope's gonna pull his ocarina out after depositing all these eggs in the cutscene trigger, and the moment that he pulls it out, he's actually gonna have the song in his inventory. So really, all he wants now is a way to get out of here. And there is a small window. We'll see. There's a 2-frame window where he can pause his game, or 1-frame window where he can pull ocarina, and just soar out of here, and he'll have the song in his inventory, and he won't have to watch the cutscene of him getting the song. So we'll see that if he nails that here.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the 1 frame if you just go for ocarina. I always knew about the pausing.
Yeah, for a while people kind of didn't know about it or didn't go for it, but see there he gets the frame perfect ocarina pull. Very nice.
Yeah, that's a frame perfect. Super cool.
But yeah, once people found out about that, they started they're like, oh, we can just mash both buttons and maybe get some time save, or even time them.
Yeah.
So there we go. So Pope soars to Zora Cave, and now he just wants to get into Great Bay. So here he's doing a setup to do very similar cutscene skip the Turtle Rising cutscene. So he's going to play Nue Bossa Nova, and then once again he has a 1-frame window where he can pause right here.
Ah, and he misses. Wow.
So he's going to eat this hugely long cutscene.
Yeah, like 45, 50 seconds.
Yeah, so normally what happens there is if you get the pause on the correct frame, you can pause both for a side hop into the loading zone and then just come out and the turtle's risen. You can just enter the temple, but we didn't see that from Pope. And we're also not going to be able to see the next cutscene skip after, because it usually is something that's paired with this one. So maybe we'll get to see those from Chimera.
Yeah, it's surprising just because, you know, Pope's really good at this game, but it is still frame perfect. You know, you have no more leniency than that for it.
Yeah, definitely his biggest mistake of the run.
Yeah, for sure.
That
And
would be a really nice opportunity for Chimera to make up some time on Pope, though.
Yeah, 100%. If Chimera could get TCS and then Pirate cutscene skip, the one that Pope should be going for next, that'll definitely help. Yeah, Pope should still be going for this, I'd imagine. You'd still have to eat entering Zora Hall cutscene, so I'm not sure if he might. No, he's still going for it. No, he isn't. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the way it works is, you're like when you're entering for turtle cutscene skip, you'd enter that Zora Hall, you'd have a little bit of a cutscene, and then you essentially do the same thing, get in there again, buffering it in. But Pope said, like, you know what, like, I don't want to take on this extra time. I'm just gonna go on. It's not worth it.
Yeah, so this cutscene right here can also be skipped. If you hook onto the turtle in a precise spot, you actually don't trigger the cutscene immediately, and then you can use time stop to activate it and go in the loading zone. But like Greg said, that's not going to be worth doing because Pope didn't actually go in and have the cutscene of Zora Hall. So maybe we'll get to see it from Chimera if Chimera gets TCS. That'd be really interesting to see.
And also, after all of this, Pope's finally going to go and fight the first boss of the dungeons, you know?
Yep.
Those all dungeons that we've been talking so much about are finally there.
Yeah, we're finally to that part where it kind of is the name of the category. So here we have a bomb pushing him out of bounds as he falls from the ledge of Zora. And then here's just a precise recoil flip right into Georg's loading zone. So that loading zone is literally just sitting there in the very first room of the temple. And you can reach it.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, using the bomb to squeeze out of bounds is a very cool kind of idea. It's like we see it happen in a few different places, but like that's the one that very kind of just like, I don't know, iconic. Like you see it a lot in like Wind Waker or some other Zeldas. It happens a lot more frequently. Or Twilight Princess, I know. So Georg, when he first kind of comes, there's this really long cutscene that plays, and there's actually a very easy way to skip it if you're able to hit him. Just like you could do a way, like something that lets you hit out of bounds. We have two, the weird shot and then extended bow, but the problem is that hook shot doesn't go that far. So even with those things, it doesn't matter. So we have to eat that cutscene. But in other routes, other categories, we get to skip that one. It's like 35 seconds or whatever, 30. Pope with a very clean phase 1 of Georg.
Yep, and this fight, the way this fight kind of goes is just like you stun him at a point where he's kind of close to the wall, and then you just hit him and you like stun lock him and let him run into the wall the whole time. He doesn't really get away.
Yeah, he runs into the wall, you run into him.
Yeah.
Ooh, those fish, are they going to ruin his day? Nah, he's able to get around them.
Looks like Chimera got the new Bossa Nova cutscene skip as well.
Yep. So now we'll see Chimera take on Turtle cutscene skip and possibly Pirate cutscene skip too.
So yeah, the cadence of the routes definitely was like, it was like get explosives, hit owls, open temples, and now it's just temple, 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 temple.
Yeah. Yeah, like the very first thing we did was, you know, we did that fairy fountain alt exit. That sets up the fairy or the owl for the very last temple. Like, literally we set ourselves up for the entire run from this point on.
Yep. I promise they're not all as quick and lackluster as that temple though. Oh, Chimera missing TCS as well. Doesn't get that time save over Pope. He would have really, really liked that, because that's like a full minute there, but at least he's not losing time over Pope there.
That's true. Yeah, for like a visual cue, I'm not sure what you use, but Pope told me there are like, you could look at the song disappearing, and there are 3 parts that disappear on consecutive frames. So you could like find whatever one works for you. I look at the notes disappearing. You could also look at the staff, like the treble clef, and then the lines disappearing. I believe it's on 3 consecutive frames like that.
Yep, I also use the notes disappearing, and I think if for people who have really fast reaction times, they look at the text box disappearing. I think the sausage might be one of those people. So yeah, those are really, really nice visual cues. Because we used to look at Link's strumming, and there were like actual issues with it desyncing from the trigger, which was like crazy. But yeah, okay, sausage doesn't use that. Sorry, I forgot.
You watched the
reaction time. I guess he's not our real gamer. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess not.
But yeah, it's interesting that like that was not like a widely done thing. That like literally nobody used that as a cue, and then all of a sudden somebody was like, "Oh, look at the notes," and then it just was very consistent for everybody. So
yeah, it's just funny how enough trial and error kind of works about through a community. No, it's very rare that everything's been solved, even in the most explored games. Yeah, and we saw Chimera also just opting for turtle cutscene skip. You haven't entered the loading zone. You're gonna have to eat another cutscene regardless. Might as well just get onto the temple.
So since we have Woodfall Owl hit, we literally just grab some supplies and then head straight back to Woodfall. And since Pope, again, he played Sonata and then soared away, we didn't actually get to see the temple rise, but after he played Sonata, it rose.
Yeah,
so it's hard to get there. So continuing the dungeon rush just by entering Woodfall right away.
Woodfall is a cool temple. It's pretty hard because there's a pretty big boss key skip in there. I'll be curious to see how risky Pope takes it. But as far as what you do in here, it's straightforward. You go in there, you get the bow. The bow is a very key item. Sets you up for the elemental arrows as well, like fire arrows and light arrows. Then we just do an out-of-bounds movement using bomb tricks to get to the boss key, or to get to the boss room without the boss key.
Yep, and yeah, like Greg said, that Woodfall boss key skip out of bounds hover is a very difficult trick. It's very punishing to lose. You don't really have to fail. You don't really have a lot of explosives to back it up with in this route, things like that. So it's definitely one of the biggest turning points in these races I've seen. Yeah, it's like HMS, that TCS, Lullaby skip. So this is definitely going to be a huge thing to watch out for right after Pope gets the bow, he's gonna go do that hover.
Yeah, it's like a pretty explosive, intensive trick in a part of the run where it's the end of a cycle. You don't necessarily have that many explosives, especially if you messed up at some earlier parts. So I got to make sure your count is tight. There are backups to do it, mind you. You can still get the boss key. You can still, like, do an action swap in order to make it faster and straightforward, but it's very slow.
And did Pope crouch stab the
I think he did 2 crouch stabs, power crouch stabs, yeah.
So yeah, in the Japanese version of this game, crouch stabs are actually just broken, and they don't work.
Yeah, literally.
They don't
work.
Properly. So your default crouch stab value actually is 0. You just don't hit anything. But I guess the way that the game kind of compensates for that is that the crouch stab just does the damage of the last attack you did.
Yeah. It's not like broken as in overpowered. It literally doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this has been a thing in Ocarina of Time and all of the revisions, English and Japanese. And it's true in Japanese version of Majora's Mask. It ends up being patched in English, funny enough.
So when Pope jump slash onto the platform after the torch hook shot, that stored his damage. So his crouch stabs after that were doing jump slash damage. So that's why he crouch stab didn't know like that.
Oh, that's funny that it carried over all those rooms because the door opens. It's not a true
Yeah, it's not a true cutscene.
Loading. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's a ledge clip. So what he's doing is he's inputting A and targeting the wall in the same frame, or A to drop from the ledge, and targeting the wall in the same frame, right as he grabs the ledge, and it allows him to clip right through. And then there's a mega flip, there's a mega side hop, which is basically a mega flip, but you side hop, and another mega side hop, and he's in.
That was it. Turned down from if you're on a beginner route, you could do 20 back hovers, distance hovers instead. Just do 3 megas.
Yep.
And that's enough distance if you curve it right, basically. And those mega side hops just keep that curve very straightforward.
Trust me, what you just saw was very scary, and if literally he was a frame off on anything, it totally could have been disastrous.
Yeah, he literally has 1 shoot 3 bombs. That's not enough to make it work, to get back up on that pillar, clip back down, and make his way. That's the cool thing about it. And he just did it.
He did. Okay, so
yeah, he almost forgot.
Okay, so we didn't mention Song of Time storage, but
yeah,
we saw him clip out of the pillars in the downstairs room, and then do that punch off the ledge as Zora, and then dive down, and then play Song of Time as he was falling. So what he did there was an Ocarina dive, and he stored Song of Time, which meant that he didn't actually play the full song. But what happened was, when you store Song of Time, when you play a song as you're falling out of bounds, it will bring up the Song of Time text box, asking you if you want to save and reset on the next text that comes up on your screen. So he encountered no text between then and Adolwa, and then right before he killed Adolwa, he read the description of the bow or something like that, which brought up a text box, and then it gave him the ability to save his game, because normally you can't do that after killing a boss.
Yeah.
So it gave him the ability to save his game after picking up the remains, because the moment he touched the remains, and the moment the remains are over Link's head, he has them in his inventory. So at that point he can just save, reset his console, and skip the whole cutscene from beating Woodfall.
Yeah, and bringing up Song of Time, you could do it at the start of your boss fight, pretty much. You just can't do it at the end, once the boss is killed. Because then it'll say, your notes travel far, but they echo into the distance, or something basically saying, hey, tough crap.
And the reason we saw he didn't actually do that for Great Bay. You can do it for Great Bay, or you can do it for your first temple you beat, but on the first temple you beat, you actually get Oath to Order, so you kind of and if you were to do that, you wouldn't be able to get Oath, period, so you wouldn't be able to complete the run. Yeah,
you literally need, you get the 4 boss remains, you get Oath to Order, and that allows you to summon them all to get, onto the moon. So if you skip that, you can't get it from another boss remains. It's just not going to appear, because the game didn't expect you to just be able to save and quit before that.
Yeah. So you'll notice here, Pope's actually soaring back to Woodfall, and that's because he's going to do another Fairy Fountain alternate exit, but this time he's going to go into the Woodfall Fairy Fountain and come out of the Snowhead Fairy Fountain and make his way up the mountain to get into Snowhead. So this is where we're going to see what strat he opts for. This is like a notorious run killer, RNG segment, basically everything, every nightmare you could imagine in a speed run is in the Lullaby Skip. But there was kind of a new development very recently where you don't actually do like a super slide against the wind, and it eliminates the RNG factor,
which is huge.
So we're going to see if Pope goes for that. He uses tons of chews. We'll actually be able to tell based on the strats he does here if he's going to go for that or not. Okay, it looks like he will. So he uses tons and tons of chews, which means you have to save chews here, you have to save chews in the temple, but it ends up being very fast, and it ends up making it not RNG dependent, which is nice.
Right. It means, though, if it fails, the backup is definitely don't have as much to do it with.
Yes, exactly. And it is a little bit of a precise hover, it looks like, so we're going to see it. We're going to see. So here, Pope's just slashing his sword so that he doesn't fall off the ledge. That's just kind of how the game works.
And that's why when you get ISG here, Invisible Sword Glitch, or Infinite Sword Glitch, that keeps you from falling off, because your sword's always swinging even though it's put away. The wind won't be able to shove you off here.
Alright, so he's going to set up an angle. So right now the wind is kind of pushing him right against the edge. Yeah, hopefully he'll go for that again. I believe this is the first time we're seeing this strat in this tournament, so this is pretty exciting.
Yeah. It's always cool to see development in an old kind of like run.
Yeah, for years it was just like, oh, we're going to super slide here, and we're going to pray that the wind, there's a long pause in between the winds, and then we can go, but yeah, instead of super sliding, he's just going to start a really long hover right here.
It's almost up there.
Yep. I believe right here he's going to backflip a little bit low, and he's going to like try to clip on. We'll see. Because Link actually kind of clips onto this one.
Wow.
Oh, okay, almost. Almost got owned by Snowball. Okay,
holy crap.
And we should be safe. The Snowball right here, there's normally a Snowball here, but he blew it up in the beginning of the trick.
Holy shit.
So, as you can see, he's got almost no explosives. That's kind of how it is with this strat. You either get it or you probably reset your entire cycle.
Yeah, you'd have to. Like, you start up the cycle, just to do this trick. It's not the worst thing in the world. Then you get tired of mashing, because you kind of glossed over. You had to mash really hard in order to buy 2 stacks of bomb chews for the price of, like, 1.5, basically.
Alright, so now we are in Snowhead, and we have almost nothing. Rather than having a couple bombs and chews, we have, like, almost nothing.
He gets the RNG bomb drop, though, from the ice block.
Did he action swap?
I don't think he did.
Okay, I guess he missed it. So he went for a trick called Action Swap there, which was going to let him shoot a flaming arrow to this ice here and take a whole different route through the first part of Snowhead. But, okay, so he's loading up on bombs.
That's a lot of bomb drops from that ice. They're not all guaranteed.
Yeah, that's like a 9/16th chance per hit, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe even like an 8/16th.
Because there are bombs down there at the bottom of the lava that you could just like void out when turning
That's true. Could have done that, but just went for the RNG one instead.
It's faster. I don't blame him.
Yeah, so here's the traditional route that you do if you don't do action swap or if you don't get the arrows from the icicle. Because you do need arrows for the action swap route, or else your game crashes when you try to shoot the arrow. And he did get the arrows. The arrow drop, which is RNG from that icicle, but unfortunately he's not going to go for that. Probably, maybe because he just needed tons of bombs, I don't know, or he just missed action swap. But action swap is a frame perfect trick. But Chimera forgot to be Song of Time.
I'm not sure if he stored Song of Time or what. I was realizing that.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge time loss. So this is what happens if you don't do the Song of Time storage strat. You just get this long cutscene.
Wait, Pope's going for Broken Stick?
That's pretty interesting.
It's an English strat because basically you could just do like a jump slash with a Deku stick and then that gives you power crouch stab. But in English, because you don't have that, this was a way of manipulating your stick to not broken, so you could continuously hit Wizrobe with it. It's funny though. I always like the strat. It looks cool.
Definitely, probably easier than timing a power crouch stab on him. Your stick thing.
Well,
is
you could do ISG with power crouch stab. That was the thing.
Oh yeah,
you could then
ISG.
like hold out your stick, and then you could just have it infinitely swinging when he spawns, so you'll never miss it.
A little bit of English muscle memory coming in, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay.
So yeah, Pope Snowhead is gonna be. It's gonna look a lot more like the ADS version of Snowhead, where you have a lot fewer chews, and you're doing a lot of mega flips and things rather than just straight hovering. But overall, not too much time loss from that.
Yeah, Pope did a very nice setup to kind of clip out of bounds with that mega side hop. Allowed him to store Song of Time there. he's gonna backflip. That's English only.
Okay,
this is an English only trick.
A lot of things that Pope is doing is because he's forgetting that he's running this category. Because he's been running English and he's been running ADS, and ADS does Snowhead completely differently.
Yeah.
So a lot of interesting mistakes.
Oh, interesting. He does the double hook shot, so instead of going for a height hover up there, he's just going to distance hover this. That makes sense because you don't have the choose in order to do it.
At that point, it definitely would have been faster for him to shoot the ice with the fire arrow, but because he was already like at the ice. But
yeah, yeah, exactly, because that's where he's supposed to go. Yeah, that's the same tunnel.
But alas, he's still got a chew and 4 bombs, and he's gonna make his way through here. So there went Chimera. Did end up having to play Song of Time so that you can buy explosives.
Yeah. Okay, then Pope at the very top of the temple now. Going to do a mega cross and then try to do a bomb recoil flip.
Actually, you probably didn't have to play Song of Time because you don't actually get the.
For your RNG sake, I think it actually makes sense to still just do a Song of Time. You don't need to, but just in case you get bad. Because you still need... Do you start up the cycle by getting the Silver Rupee? No, you have the bomb, so you don't need to, but... Oh, actually, we don't hit the Clocktown Owl statue. So if you need more...
Oh, you're right. You couldn't even...
Stuff. Yeah, because I started to route that in my own for if I failed it to go back again. And then I realized, like, wait a second, you really don't need it, because you could just Song of Time or reset to get bomb choose. Like, it's really... You should never have to re-up mid-cycle. There's nothing that's that important for choose.
So there we saw Pope just kind of mega flipped over that gap, and then he just did a recoil flip, and it sent him out of bounds, and he just made his way into this loading zone. This fight, if you stand at a specific spot, Goat actually doesn't move. So there's a spot where you can stand where he's not charging at you, and you can still hit him, and he's really just shooting arrows at him.
Yeah.
Kind of takes it.
At the very end, you kind of stand... Like, eventually, if you stand still too long, he'll charge at you, so you time your arrow fires to just kind of be a little too long at the end. So he starts to run at you as he kind of gets hit and dies, and it puts his remains right in front of you. I mean, look how close that is. How convenient. What a swell guy, that Goat.
Like, not only did he let you just destroy him, he just died right next to you.
Magic skip with full magic. True. In English, you can't use your regular bow because you have a bunch of stuff over it. I think you have Ocarina over it. Something like that.
I think you have a bottle over your bow slot in that route.
Okay. So you don't want to get magic because you only have fire arrows, and firing a fire arrow takes a lot longer, and you can't really do the Goat strat too quickly. Cool little nuances between it. This game is very neat that way.
Yep. Same exact start as last cycle, where he's just going over here, gainering, getting rupees, getting explosives. Yep. And we didn't talk about 2-for-1. So
yeah.
Pope actually, he'll buy the bombs, and then he actually only has 69 rupees. Oh wait, never mind. He's not doing that.
No, he's doing the new strats. Yeah, he's doing the milk strats.
I've been watching too much English. Anyway,
no such thing.
So yeah, he's buying milk. Interesting. Why would he buy milk? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, it's good for bones, you know?
Yeah. Never seen this in a speedrun.
The future is now, old man.
It looks like Chimera is going for the super slide strat. This is the more traditional lullaby skip strat. This one's gonna rely on the RNG.
And he gets good RNG.
Good RNG.
Oh, he gets great RNG. Holy crap.
So if you the pauses between the winds is random there, and if you get a short pause, you get blown so soon that you don't actually make it around that corner there, and you have to redo the entire setup and super slide again. But Chimera got first try, good RNG there, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's so rare to actually cross that corner on your first gust of wind. Normally, it just, as long as you don't get pushed right back into essentially the fairy fountain, you're fine.
So now he just needs to make this ramp and then...
Yeah, can't get hit by these boulders. The snowball, this one's gonna hit him!
He wasn't knowledgeable enough on the snowball cycle there.
Yeah.
Maybe thought he could make it squeeze by, but nope.
No.
So,
that's unfortunate.
That RNG is going to be wasted this time, but hopefully he can get it again. Thankfully, this one only takes like a couple bombs per attempt, so he will be able to go for it again.
Yeah, because it's like one for ISG, another if you decide to blow up that boulder, which makes the top easier. So now we're seeing Chimera opt out for that and instead focus on the ISG one and the super slide one.
So if you haven't watched this game for a while, you might be like, wow, we're entering Stone Tower. That's kind of weird. But yes, we don't have index warp or anything, so you actually just have to enter Stone Tower. Maybe not climbing it the traditional hover method.
No.
But yeah.
So
this trick coming up is like a new, it's a new development.
That's the first frame he just hit.
I don't know much about this trick. I've been out of the loop for a bit, so if you want to explain any part of it, go ahead.
Sure. So essentially what you're doing here is you're glitching the hell out of this milk bottle. When you sip milk, you're supposed to put it away, but you have your second bottle out. If you have a second one in your inventory, you don't put it away. So Pope targets the top of that pillar, waits for like the boulder to be slightly past him because you're on a cycle. Oh, whoa.
Oh. Okay,
so yeah, Pope's just resetting that cycle.
Some people will hit we have seen racers from this tournament hit the Milk Road Owl as a backup just in case something like that happens. Pope did not. He's going to have to restart the entire cycle.
Yeah, the Milk Road Owl helps for sure because you can you have enough rupees, I believe, for one more if you just farm like a quick 10. And then if you don't get it after that, your second try, you could Song of Time, and then you have Milk Road there, and it's a lot faster. And, you know, I don't want to brag or anything, but you guys are listening to a commentator who spent about an hour on that trick in his first round winner's race, so not trying to brag. I know how to back it up.
Wow.
It was really sad. I kept hitting the frame before. Like, when Link lands, that's the second frame perfect thing, basically. Or no, that's the third one. The second one is finding out the rock cycle. Because you're, like, doing this backflip, and then you're shooting and you hit the rock, and it zooms you up.
Alright, Chimera's kind of struggling to get up here. Now he's got 0 bombs, but he does have ISG. So, okay, we'll just use this choose. Probably a lot less comfortable with the low chew count than he'd like to be. Probably not coming from ADS where you don't have so many, but hopefully he can make this work with 6.
Yeah, and now Chimera's really not trying to go too far around there because there are 2 boulders up here. The one at the start that he didn't blow up. Oh, speaking of the devil! Oh!
Okay, good reactions. Good reactions.
Okay. That was actually, very good reaction. He was in control of the situation, but I didn't know that. To run above so the wind blew him past. Like, jeez.
That was a move right there. That was great. So we'll see if Chimera goes for action swap here as well. Perhaps there's a safer method on the wall, and there's also like pause buffering. So we'll see. Okay, looks like they are gonna go for it.
Yeah, it looks like the pause buffering method. I'm so bad at this trick.
Like I said, this trick is frame perfect, so seeing a pause buffer is not super surprising. But he will need an RNG arrow drop to even get the time save from nailing this. So we'll see.
I don't think he got it.
Well, we'll see if he gets from this icicle. Okay, he gets it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what action swap looks like.
Pretty weird.
He will have to get bombs though. He has none, so you don't actually get to see the route difference for a couple more seconds. But he's not going to go weird shot the chest. He's actually just going to go through that door that he opened.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. You need to have like a quiver with arrows. That's one of the requirements. And then it's like this first person thing that you're pulling, and then you just like mash stick when you have a text come up. If you fail the Woodfall boss key skip, you can do a way to shoot the flaming arrow to light the torch in the like side of the room easily that way.
So here Chimera's entering this one. Pope's gonna try his meanwhile Pope's trying his second attempt at this milk jump trick.
Yeah,
So
I didn't see his
Chimera
first frame.
just has a super precise hook shot right here. And
It's literally a pixel, right?
I don't know if it's literally a pixel. I think it's...
Feels like it.
I don't know what it is, but it is pretty precise, and it just skips all of what Pope Squidward had to do.
Oh, and Pope got it second try.
Nice. So he's flying, and he's up here.
Yeah, he's soaring, he's flying. There's not a star in heaven that he can't reach. And by that, I mean he's entering Stone Tower Temple.
So yeah, that skips literally all the hovering that you might see other people do, or you might have remembered if you watched this game in 2013. It skips all of that, which is really sick.
Like, the
That's
hover
really
itself isn't the... Yeah, it's just so laggy. There's so many enemies around. It just takes so long.
Yeah.
Ooh, very nice sunblock clip into a super swim from Pope.
Yeah, so there Pope did a roll clip, basically rolling again on the Hess frames, getting tons of speed, and then having the right angle to just clip through the block and then a super swim.
Yeah, and there's that ISG setup using a Deku stick from Chimera.
Went for another super swim, but didn't quite get it. A lot of super swims in this category.
I really like
I'm a
super
fan.
swims.
I'm a fan. I remember when we were doing probably one super swim, and there was like one person doing it. And here's a weird shot. So
It's doing it far away.
by again rolling on the Hess frames, or rolling on the frames that work for Hessing and Mega Flipping, you can also pull a first-person item, and it will like displace the camera, or it will displace Link, and depending on the frame that you release target, you actually get a different position in there. He gets what we call a first frame weird shot, which sends you directly below the ground and allows you to shoot things out of bounds. So just skipping that sunblock entirely.
Yeah, for the most part, we see the first frame to shoot you down, and the second one to kind of like shoot you forward.
He might go for that one here.
He should go for it
linear.
here. He's getting more. For the backup when he failed in Snowhead Temple, that was a second frame. Like you can go for a first frame, but if I remember correctly, he actually hit a second one. Because he's like essentially the same ground level and just moved his position a little bit out of bounds.
We call that one a second frame weird shot, but it's actually a 2-frame window to hit that exact same shot, and it's so it is more lenient than the first frame weird shot, which is only 1 frame.
Interesting, dude. I think I hit a crazy weird shot in JP. Like, probably one that definitely one that would have crashed. Actually, no, it was on English. That was the thing. I hit what looked like a really weird thing that should crash English, but it didn't.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird shots are very, very strange glitches. They also change drastically depending on what direction you're holding on your control stick when you're rolling, or when you're pulling the item. Like Pope Squidward was just holding straight down left for those kinds of weird shots, but things are different if you hold upright, if you hold down.
Yeah, pure down.
Crazy. So here, Pope is going to die purposely. Because at this point, you're getting light arrows, and all you want to do is invert the temple as fast as possible, because you can actually only hit the boss's loading zone from the inverted version of this temple. So really, your objective is just to get light arrows and then go back to the beginning. So the fastest way to do that is actually dying rather than soaring out. It saves quite a bit of time.
For sure. And in order to flip the temple, he's going to do a very cool trick called extended bow. Beforehand, it was done with a weird shot, but that uses a bomb, and this doesn't. And it's literally
right.
Yeah, you're holding up and you're pressing. Well, you have like your first-person item you're trying to extend, kind of drawn. It's like up and then A, and then the next frame is that item. Just kind of like shoots him kind of forward. I'm not entirely sure why it works, but perfect for kind of getting your hand in there and hitting the red gem with a light arrow to flip the temple, as opposed to like moving stuff around or doing a weird shot. The blocks around.
Chimera with the song storage this time, thankfully remembering it.
Yes.
So he'll be able to skip this cutscene from beating Snowhead. And here's song storage, or the Ocarina
Really
of
hard.
Song storage from Poe.
And he hit song storage. You have like very little height to do it on. So
Yeah, you
if
gotta
you
play
mess up a
with
note,
keyboard
it's
close.
over. You got to do it again. Wait, I'm
So
just
they're
realizing Pope's going for a right side now.
Yeah,
not sure
so
how
they're
many-
actually because he didn't actually buy bomb juice. So there's actually
Right.
a couple ways to hit Twin Walls loading zone. You can either come all the way over here, which is kind of where the door is, or you can go on the left side and do a lot more out of bounds hovering. That one, the one on the left with the out of bounds hovering, is like substantially faster than this, but it does require explosives, which would require him to go buy explosives. So he's opting just for this one. I believe it does still save time to buy explosives. Just buy like 10 bomb chews and do that. Just like a couple seconds, but Pope's gonna opt for this one. It's a lot easier. It's like basically, yeah, it's a lot easier. It's a lot safer for races. You don't have to practice it at all, basically.
And he's not even re-upping on anything. He's going to go straight and set up the boss key. There's a bunch of pots at the end after that weird shot, but...
Yeah, so here he's just going to... I'm forgetting, is this a slope clip?
I don't really know what that kind of setup is.
I want to say it's a slip clip, but he just does a little setup there that gets him a specific distance from the wall, and then a recoil just gets him in.
Like what's shown in a lot of games, when textures come together and like form seams or vertexes, like those are the ones that usually can get exploited pretty hard. It's not always coded that well.
Yeah, the game gets confused and
The game gets confused.
So Twin Mold, really the only resources we have, and like the fastest, some of the fastest way to kill him in the game is just shooting his tail with arrows. So normally, what a lot of people don't know, like casually playing the game, is that if you shoot the Twin Mold, that's the color, like the opposite color of the arrows you're using, like fire or ice arrows. It actually does triple damage, which is more than what light arrows do, which is only double damage from normal arrows. So that's why we're seeing fire arrows used on blue.
But we don't have ice arrows in these categories because it's very long in order to go through Great Bay in order to get light arrows. So apart from glitchless, you only see that.
Yeah.
So we just use regular or light arrows depending on how much magic you have.
And here we're actually using, it looks like, yeah, Pope's using regular arrows. It's like comparable in speed to the light arrows. They do half damage, but you can shoot them immediately. You can shoot them faster, so sometimes it's like the same speed.
Yeah.
Especially, you know,
Ooh.
like Greg said, not having a lot of magic. And there goes Twin Mold. Really solid mold, honestly.
Yeah, there was like one missed fire arrow, and that was really, you know, it. His shots are pretty clean.
And then once again, the final song storage.
Yeah, let's see how Chimera's remote hook shot or the milk shot goes. That should be the frame. The boulder's there, so you can't really tell, but that should still be the frame. Because you're like setting your height basically with the first hook shot, and you're canceling it with a milk drink. Line up for the wall, wait until the rock's just like behind you or the frame past. I don't think that's gonna work. I think that's 2 frames after. At least he landed on that frame. 1 more frame to go up. But I don't know if the bomb's going to appear. Oh, it does. Okay.
Nice.
And he gets it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. Didn't have to go out for seconds. Nothing like that. So now Pope has all 4 of the remains. He has Oath to Order. He's going out to determine a field for a Deku Stick there. That's going to help him with Majora. And then he's going to farm these bush patches for a bomb drop. He just needs 5 bombs. 4
We're looking to hover. Yeah, we're looking to hover into Clock Tower because the alternative is literally waiting till midnight.
Yeah, midnight of the 3rd day. We did it first cycle. We have a lot more like means of getting there without waiting.
And getting some horrible RNG, it looks like.
Yeah, really bad RNG. Oh, there's one.
Oh, there's a bomb drop. Okay, 3rd try.
Yeah.
probably loses 20-30 seconds over first try, but we're finally going.
In the like equip swap categories, like all dungeons standard, the way of like keeping chews through your Song of Time cycles, and that's primarily what's done in order to cut down on the RNG with bombs. But instead, for Pope right now, he's getting this dog. The dog's gonna, believe it or not, allow him to get in here without bomb chews to do an angle change. It's gonna do one hover, target the dog, that unlocks a camera for him.
Yeah, normally when you're hovering, your camera's actually just locked in like targeting, so you can't change your angle or hover in different directions or anything like that, at least not traditionally. So, yeah, targeting the dog helps him unlock that. And he's in.
And he's in. Just a cutscene to go, and Pope's going to be on his way to taking down Majora and winning this round. Chimera's done a good job keeping up overall, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of times, depending on how the race is, it's like, a lot of times if it's like even remotely close, then you cannot call a race before Majora whatsoever, because this boss is just totally crazy. Things get out of hand very quickly, and you can die. You can even die to the boss in those minutes. So
Absolutely.
see what happens with Pope. This looks like a runaway game from him, with how this is going, but he could still just lose minutes, and we'd have a lot of fun making fun of him for that.
Oh yeah, it would be a blast. So, I mean, again, Chimera hasn't lost enough time that it's out of reach by any means. And Milkshot really helped bring it closer together.
Yeah, that is true.
Chimera trying? Yeah, I thought he was trying to intentionally take damage.
I think he'll have to... Will be able to get hit twice more in this fight? Oh,
Yeah, see, it keeps happening. Gary Master keeps pulling back like right beforehand. Should be good though for one more hit.
This is kind of scary.
Yeah, now it's scary because he needs to line up the... You're using roll intangibility here. Except for when he bounces up, because no hitbox comes out then. Alright, so Chimera's going to try to do the damage warp to the beginning of the temple here now too. Nice, and he gets a bomb already like bigger on the big blue flash. That should definitely help get like the fast credits warp so you don't have music pop up and spin around him. Oh, never mind, there's music. It's a really hard one to get the fast warp on. I think that's the hardest item in the game to do it on for some reason. Yeah, if Chimera handles Twin Mold well and Pope struggles a little bit with Majora, can definitely swing.
Mm-hmm. Especially if we get some good bomb RNG, that would help.
Yeah. Now, Kuroshi, do you think Pope is playing the top to himself?
I would hope so. I would like to imagine that that's what he's doing right now. Yes.
Same. Truly an icon of a cutscene song.
I'm wondering if he's streaming on 2 accounts at once, because something I never knew he did. You know how he like has those crazy alerts on his channel, and then like if he were,
he's
people
not
always ask,
streaming twice, but yeah, no, he's not.
Something I never knew he did was that he actually uses 2 instances of OBS on his computer so that he can have a clean recording of his game for submission.
That's new tech.
Over it. I thought that was really funny, because there are a couple ways you could maybe get around that, but that's just a really funny thing. A really funny thought.
Yeah, it definitely is some new tech.
I was like, oh, maybe he has one OBS on this one and one OBS on JCon Protractor, but I guess not. Yeah, here we have a recoil flip.
Does like pretty
Alright,
clean,
nice.
is able to get over. Takes hit, but Igor dies too.
It's pretty easy to fail that recoil too. It's pretty precise. You kind of like the Great Bay boss key skip.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we'll assume Chimera will do this weird shot and then go down. Well, he only has one bomb, so
He has
if
one
he fails
bomb,
this,
so
he's going to have to hit the chest and take the long way down.
we're gonna see pause buffer.
Yeah, just one
Hold
frame
early.
off.
So one of the benefits of pause buffering is that you can tell immediately if you rolled early, which like on mega flips, for instance, it's gonna save your runs early.
Mhm.
You can shield the bomb rather than just taking damage and falling down somewhere. So now, yeah, now he had to hit the switch, and I'm getting called on Discord. It's distracting. Anyway, so he had to hit the switch and come over here, quick shot the thing.
Yep. And Pope is on his way to the moon. He has just entered the moon's breath. It's kind of stinky, but it takes you where you need to go.
So he does have that, like Greg said, you only need 4 bombs to get into the clock tower, so this extra bomb can be used to super slide right here. This is actually, I believe, the most, like the super slide that saves the most time out of any in the run, because it's just so long.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like nothing in between you and there. You just take the line.
Yeah,
First try skip from Chimera, though.
very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, during the draw fight, you saw Pope equip stick there. We're gonna be utilizing power crouch stabs because stick jump slash is actually twice the damage of sword jump slash, so it's really strong.
It helps so much in this boss. Like, I was practicing some English Majora, and it's actually crazy how much health Wrath has and how like little it matters using Deku Stick, like the A attack, jump slash, and then power crouch stab. It's actually like insane how much easier it is.
So yeah, this fight is super duper, like there's a lot of RNG in general. This first phase is generally the super consistent one. There are some shenanigans that can happen, like that's why people get very, like they freak out and they get very surprised when things happen on this phase because it's just so uncommon for, but
I hope Mass doesn't get hit out of bounds. That's like the one area that you could accidentally like smack Mass a little bit.
You don't want to have Mask up in this little
No.
because it can make it hard for your fins to hit. Or he can turn around and then you won't be able to hit him with bow.
Yeah, see how he's like a little trapped in there?
Oh,
Okay, at least he fell out.
Got him out.
Of course, we have to hold our boss's hands.
Alright, good. No disaster there. Chimera's struggling a little bit with shooting Twin Wolf. This boss is pretty hard. It's hard to hit the moving targets.
It's very hard. When the target's moving at you, too.
Yeah, and
your
like,
resources run out.
Yeah, the Twin Wolf patterns aren't consistent whatsoever. They're just completely random.
Oh, very nice to finish off Blue, at least.
And there, Pope was holding his orb barrier, just hoping that Incarnation ran directly into him. And
he just broke stick. So if it's like fine, but if things go south and he accidentally does a spin attack or a regular attack, he can't get back his stick jump slash damage.
Yeah, so he's gonna want to he's gonna want to make sure he's not pressing any like sword
B buttons.
Yeah. So right here, all we want to do is, well, first he might try to. Yeah, he's got fire arrows equipped, so he's gonna shoot a fire arrow at Wrath to get Wrath to jump away into a corner.
Yeah, away from those masks that are just firing at you indiscriminately.
And now that he's all alone and he can just have his way with the boss, he's just gonna do 10 crouch stabs.
Yeah, this is a hit stun lock. We see it with a Dolba. We get to do it with a much more powerful boss. And Pope just made a Wrath look easy, and he clocks in with a win at 137.13.
Really good Majora fight overall.
It's very clean overall.
Chimera finishing up Twin Mold here. Hopefully he's not going to be running out of arrows, because that is where Twin Mold can really get disastrous.
Dude, I know. Like, that's so much harder to plan for.
I'm not sure how many hits Red has left. I haven't been paying attention. Oh, these are really nice shots, though. Oh, really?
Yeah. Great last cycle.
Something awakened in him there, and he realized he needed to perform.
You see that clutchness? I am clutch.
Yeah, congrats Pope on that dub.
Yeah, GG's.
Really good run overall, honestly. Great execution, especially for the first, like, half.
Yeah, 137 for a tournament. Some 10 minutes off of his PB in a race. And that was second try milk too, so I had to reset that cycle.
So Chimera trailing right behind, just gonna go grab bombs, hopefully get some good RNG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was gonna do the Celestial Dirt movement.
Legend. We're gonna see early stick. Pope got third try, we think,
Yeah, he got third try.
of the bush.
I'm feeling the first try from Chimera, honestly.
I'm feeling first too. Maybe second.
Oh, looks like Chimera's gonna go for this fair share.
Okay.
Oh,
Whoa.
double? So he can
Why is he
actually
even hitting
slide
more?
back to- Maybe
Oh, just in case.
Oh no! That is not what you want.
God, he
at all.
dipped.
Okay, this is gonna go ahead and
God, he
reset.
dipped.
That actually happened to me back when I was like going for sub 2 or something in like 2016. I actually remember that, but man, like as soon as you said why is it hitting more, and then I saw Takuri coming in, I was like, this is a disaster in the making. Oh no!
I totally forgot about Takuri, but that's how you know, just when you're not thinking of him, that's when he strikes.
Okay, maybe if Chimera gets those bombs again, maybe he won't go for some more, because that is what caused that, and that's not great.
No, that was a little bit of greed. Like,
So-
you got 10 bomb drops. What could you even do with like that many bomb drops?
So, what was I gonna say? So, when your sword gets taken, you can like buy it back from the shop or something like that, right?
Yeah, but it has to be 10 p.m. for Curiosity Shop to open.
Oh, you're right. That's horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to hit the last ones to see if he got magic arrows, but
that's what I
okay,
think so too.
please just go. Okay, I see.
Yeah, he's got everything he needs. He got the stick again, right? Yeah, he did.
Mhm. So what you can do, if you actually get 2 bomb drops, is you can super slide here to back to Clock Town, save a little bit of time.
Yeah, if we had a repeat of last cycle before everything got stolen.
Dog hover.
Mhm.
So yeah, really good RNG though. a second
Yeah.
time getting first try.
I mean, that's crazy. He literally got 3 bomb drops and like 2 patches, essentially. And both when he needed them. Like, that's some good applied luck. I think he might need the extra bomb.
He's gonna want to use that extra.
Oh, this...
Hopefully he recognizes. Oh, he didn't recognize. Got 2 really, really not great hovers there, so he's gonna have to go back and get more.
At this point, he could even get even silver rupee chest.
All right, let's see if we get another first try.
Yeah.
Third attempt at.
He
first
doesn't
try.
need another Deku stick, so he's gonna take the shorter path to the bushes. Wow.
And another first try. Awesome.
This is awesome.
All right, hopefully. So now he kind of has that experience though. If he gets a bad hover, he'll probably use an extra bomb.
And the best part is, this bomb RNG is going to be taken away from an SRM runner. Kidding.
Wow.
For real though, when I ran all dungeons SRM, I had the worst. I think I once went through 10 bush patches and to get a single bomb drop.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I remember in the old any % route, this bomb drop right here would just kill so many good runs. Because once you get to an optimized level, you really can't get worse than maybe second, third try, or else you've lost too much time at that point.
This angle's looking a little off here. I think he's going to also use all 5.
Yeah, you're going to want to
use
use everything you have, and you're. Please
yeah,
don't.
he's going for it. Good.
Might even use 6.
Yeah,
okay,
perfect.
looks good.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. No harm, no foul.
All right, we are in. Now it's just a cutscene and a fight.
Yeah, that's it. Overall, though, I'm impressed by the stuff that I saw from both of these guys.
Yeah,
Like-
really nice.
Yeah.
A couple kind of like medium level catastrophic
Yeah.
mistakes. Medium
Yeah.
catastrophic level, like like for a race,
Yes,
really what
yeah,
you're avoiding
exactly.
is like the big, huge 5-minute mistakes. But like the things that like Chimera had a struggle with lullaby skip, which was kind of big, and then obviously that dog hover. Did his game freeze?
Yeah, it looks like his game is frozen. His timer's still going.
Hopefully
at
in
least on our
BC
stream.
Cash, though that would be hilarious.
Yeah, hopefully it's just like a little desync or something, and I'll be able to
Yeah.
reconnect it.
Yeah, we're thinking it's the game feed, but we'll see.
Because I don't
His capture
know that
card
you could get. Oh, his capture card crashed.
Hopefully we
I
can
don't
get
think
that
you could-
back.
Yeah, if the game is still going, because it's just a cutscene. Unless it's all connected.
Thankfully, he gets it during the longest, probably the longest
literally.
stretch of time he has to fix it in the game.
Yeah, Virtual Console is prone to crashing occasionally because it's still a form of emulation. There's like some things, I don't know if it's floating integers or whatnot, but there can be cases of Virtual Console crashes. It happens the most, I feel like, on Ocarina of Time, as far as the ones that we see speedrun. Happens occasionally on Majora's Mask. Happens occasionally even in Mario 64, believe it or not, when they run on WeVC.
Oh
'Cause
wow,
it's-
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you don't watch too many WeVC Mario runners,
Yeah,
but it's just a product. Oh, there we
there
go.
we are.
That is a good
All right.
point, Miri. I counter by saying I'm not really sure.
Maybe just like floating point round.
Maybe it's. I think it's floating versus integer.
Yeah. So back to the cutscene. Unfortunately, we missed like a minute of this great cutscene or whatever.
Oh, bummer. I don't really remember what happens.
I think
If I remember right, they walked.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Just like some big feet.
It's kind of funny how you're not really meant to be in the clock tower before final night, so it's just like the moon is suddenly crashing.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, Link is the reason why it's about to crash.
It's the dog's fault.
Now, nowhere in this rulebook does it not say that a dog hampering about the end of the world. Dude, I really like this, like harp music that happens, like the harp and the strings.
Mhm.
Only time. Like, things are great, you know?
The calm before the storm. Being here on like Tuesday
Absolutely.
is always crazy.
Yeah, because you
get
hear like that
calm.
little like groaning in the background.
Yeah. And
Oof.
it's like it's making you build the suspense.
Mm-hmm. Oh crap, it's a mask all along! Whoa!
I wouldn't have known because I can't read Japanese. Dang it.
High key though, running on English is nice because this game is enjoyable to read.
It actually
You
is.
could get like burnt out doing your trick, you could walk over and talk to NPC and find some dialogue you've never seen before.
Honestly, even like watching the English intro for the 1000th time, sometimes it's like kind of fun to read.
Yeah. Yeah, because the characters, you like them, you relate to them. I mean, probably. It's a very well-written game for being as rushed as it was in development. And like, I only found the speedrun because I just wanted to watch someone play this game casually on Twitch. I'm like, oh crap, people play this competitively? You don't say. Wait, you're saying they never stop playing Majora's Mask? I'm in.
So Chimera does have an extra bomb here for a moon slide, so that'll be fun to see.
No, he doesn't. I thought he used all 5.
Well, he had
because his
6,
angle
actually.
was. He had 6.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a carryover. Yeah, because he didn't spend it in order to make it to the clock tower the first time. Good point.
Yeah.
It doesn't get
Alright,
that.
so there's a ground. Oh, it goes Zora for the faster movement. Probably not worth the mass transition times, but
Yeah. Because I don't think you can talk to the kid as Zora. I think he sees you as an imposter when you put on the transformation masks. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to put on. A lot of times in this speedrun, we do any movement where we're going to be Zora at the end of a segment. We do the movement of Zora just because Zora does have faster movement.
Mm-hmm.
But in this
Longer
case, he had
legs.
to be human again, so it wouldn't have been worth it. But yeah.
Oh god, Link is sus.
We have them using fire arrows. We used to use light arrows in this fight, but I guess we use fire arrows now.
Well, we use. I always thought it's like you could just use light arrows for Wrath itself because even when your magic is out, you can just use that guaranteed shot because it's programmed in.
My guess is that people went back to fire, or they went to fire arrows after seeing how it was used in the other categories, just to get Wrath to jump away and maybe not get shot by remains.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's really the only reason you would do it, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. To kind of make it so that way, exactly, you could trigger the escape from the masks. Because the light arrows, will just hit them.
Yeah. We used to always just YOLO light arrows and then just pray. You get 10 or you don't.
Yeah, now that's sussy.
I prefer the YOLO strat. I prefer
not having to deal with masks. Oh god, Chimera has the mask up there. That's like really close to getting out of bounds.
This is exactly why you don't want it, because
like I don't even think he can. Yeah. Like, and even if he did, that would be actually a problem because I think he would be like really hard to hit afterwards.
So what you want to do actually?
And he has to change off of Zora immediately, or he has to reset the entire fight.
Oh, he pressed shield. Okay, so what happens there is, normally in casual gameplay you have mirror shield, and the mirror shield reflects that beam. So if you actually press shield at all, the beam just targets onto you. It like snaps.
Oh, I never knew that.
It snaps to you. So he pressed shield, and it's not. He would have been fine if he just kept avoiding the
moving,
beam, even as Zora. But he pressed shield. That is unfortunate.
Huh. The more you know. Yeah, I always think of it like, yeah, you could technically still outwalk it, but don't be a hero.
Okay, unfortunately I have to leave now. I knew at some point I was gonna maybe have to leave, but it is right before it ends, which sucks. But
you got to come for literally like almost all of it. So thank you so much, Kuroshi. You're a legend.
Yeah, thank you for being a sick co-commentator. And congrats to Pope and congrats to Chimera once you finish this. Bye!
Alright, see ya. Everyone in chat say thank you, Kuroshi, for the great job that he did. Thanks, Kuroshi. Alright, we're gonna go on to Incarnate. We're gonna see a bit of RNG here. Incarnate's basically like a dance battle master. So, Chimera's Zora, he's gonna try putting a electricity thing, R and B, where he is, and hoping that Incarnate's gonna run into him and get tripped up. And he doesn't. Incarnate's all the way over there. Oh, okay. Kept it going, saw that maybe he's gonna go over. Alright, so Chimera has the Deku Stick of over, so it doesn't break, unlike what Pope did. He's just gonna use these power crouch stabs to damage, trip him up. Oh, 2 cycles before going on to Wrath. Alright, home stretch. There's 2 hearts here. Gonna really be careful. Each of those like mask shots do 1 heart. Ooh. Is he still gonna hit? Looks like he can get this from here. The master behind him, they're not firing. Couple more. Ooh, very nice. And the mask did fly over him, but Chimera's still able to finish with a sub 153. GG's in the chat, folks. That is our race. Good stuff, guys. Both runners, seriously. It was a really entertaining match. Hello. We have one of our racers hopping in to chat. Pope. Good stuff.
Hello.
Well played.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I not really one of my best runs, but I mean, I'm definitely just happy that this tournament is a thing because this game has definitely needed a lot of like recognition. So
yeah,
I'm
for sure. And I mean, you got the hover in Snowhead. Getting that lullaby skip was a really cool thing.
Barely.
Like, dude, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I completely forgot. It's because I've been running that other All Dungeon Standard, so I like forgot how to do certain tricks in the run. But yeah, it's pretty amazing how quickly you can like forget some stuff. But yeah, that was pretty funny. And then I missed the remote hookshot jump too.
Yeah, first try.
I think I know exactly what I did there though, which is I think I was a little bit too late on my like the actual hookshot piece of it, but I think the rest was like pretty solid overall.
Yeah, it's like it was what was it like? Turtle cutscene skip. You guys both missed.
Oh yeah, I've been missing that lately. I don't know what's going on with that,
but no, I mean it was pretty clean overall, especially for a race. And
Yo,
Chimera, good stuff.
Chim, GG's.
Pope. That was a fun race.
Yeah, it was pretty fun actually. I had definitely a lot of slip ups in that run, but
me too. Definitely.
I had the stream up on the side too. I was kind of watching what was going on, but
yeah, I had a little trouble climbing Snowhead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I missed the remote hookshot jump once. I had to reset the cycle because I didn't know the backup for that. But did you get that first try?
His was fast.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I got that.
Yeah, that was a really good remote hookshot at yours, Chimera. Like you did it. Yeah. I think you did the backflip without even buffering at all. I wasn't sure if that was gonna work. I was like, holy crap, what?
Really nice.
I couldn't even see where my reticle was on like the first hookshot. Like the boulder was in the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he got the height on there, still adjusted. It was cool.
Sick. Well, GG's, dude. Thanks for having me. It was fun. I hope to continue on and do well in this tournament. I'm really happy again that it's like,
happening. There's a Majora's Mask. Like, it's awesome.
I know, dude. It's like so great for this game for like people who want to play and stuff. So.
Well, yeah, thanks so much for both of you guys for running and doing a great job and put on a show. It was really fun to commentate. Kuroshi had to dip, but he was also incredibly entertained by it all.
Oh yeah, I'll have to watch the commentary back. I want to see the commentary.
It was fun.
I want to watch back the part where the bird stole my sword.
What, the bird stole your sword? What?
Yeah.
I was AFK for that. Oh my god, that is amazing.
I was laughing my ass off, dude.
That was like watching like a collision. Like, wait, what's he still hanging around? Like, oh no, he's behind the door.
Wow, that's funny. That's a highlight for sure. I have to go back and watch that.
Pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah, again, thanks again, both of you guys. Everyone in chat, continue watching MoonCrash.
Yeah.
This tournament's awesome. Shout out to everyone who's been working on it.
Heck yeah, follow Chim's stream too. Chim does, I think, are you still doing ADR right now, or are you...
yeah, but I think we're gonna switch to doing 100% SRM, what
Oh,
Jake's
heck
doing
yeah,
right now.
Nice, that's a good category, dude.
Yeah, everyone follow this man.
Yes, but yeah, thanks for having me. I'm probably gonna head out, but I'm definitely excited to see the rest of this tournament unfold, so...
Yeah, excited to watch you continue to balance the All Dungeon Standard running with still doing ADR for the tournament, too.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
All right. Later, guys.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Thank you for commentating, Greg.
It was my pleasure. I appreciate it.
Thank you, stream. Good night.
Yeah, but I also want to... who was our other commentator that had to go?
That was Kuroshi.
Kuroshi, yeah. All right, yeah, I just want to make sure I had that right. Thank you both for commentating. Make sure to give our runners a follow. We're going to go raid ZSR main. They're doing Majora's Mask Randomizer tournament match. And for upcoming events, take a look at the link in the chat there that CSR bot just posted. So yeah, we'll see you next time.